UCLA could all win the thing. Now UCLA's hurt. My thing really just buying into the resilience. I feel like as a team, like you said, we've been through some ups and downs, but at the same time, our first party was just hearing that our coach is all good and recovering, and he is, and we've heard from him, called us before.
I really don't know enough about this first matchup to say whether this is a good matchup or a bad matchup right now, but I know that we're going to have our guys prepared, as Montana State will. So I tell you, the hardest game to win is that first one, man.
We had a fantastic practice today, man. We all competed at a high level. I feel like we got our swagger back. After them 2 games that we lost on the road, I just feel like we came in, we executed in film, and we got on the court, and we...
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports. Welcome in to the Tuesday show. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Steve Webster with you, along with Mike Corson. How you doing, Mike? You're running the controls today.
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
I got tired of my waistline being visible on the stream, so this looks better.
I'm holding my breath today then.
Yeah, well, everybody's got to learn how to do this stuff. So, yeah, you're running the controls. Nice open. Aaron Clark is back. We were asking yesterday, Aaron Clark, so of all the great things that you could have gone and watched this weekend, you went and watched an NBA game.
I did. It was a great time. Had a wonderful time. Unfortunately, the Nuggets didn't get a win, but it was a 122-120 game. Came down to the last second.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Well, it's good to have you back in here today.
I'm excited to be here. I missed the start of NFL free agency yesterday. I didn't get to talk about it. Goodness gracious.
Oh, on the show today, Cole Reif's going to be in. We're going to be talking about the Barton Lady Cougars. That was pretty cool yesterday with Brendan Kirchhoff in with a net around her neck, although she left it. She left with the net also around her neck. I thought that'd be a nice thing to put up here. But so anyway, we talked Barton Lady Cougar basketball yesterday. The voice of the Cougars is going to be in today. We'll talk about the Women's Region 6 Championship and the Men's oh-so-close Region 6 Championship. And then today, the Maxville Mustangs are going to be with us. We don't know who's going to be here. I asked Coach Kuckelman to bring the whole team, bring the cheerleaders, bring the whole town. So we may have a long line.
Yeah, we'd like to see one bus, possibly 2 buses outside.
I don't know. Can you use a bus on spring break? I guess probably you can.
You win state, you can do, you set the rules.
So we're looking forward to that. So that's coming up. So let's get to it here today. Sounds the past 24 hours mentioned Brendan Kirchhoff talking about making 8 straight free throws down the stretch that allowed Barton to hang on for the win. And as Alan Clark said, none of them even touched iron, man. Swish, 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 swish. Talking about learning how to shoot those free throws back when you're growing up in Cedar, Kansas. Just getting in that big moment. Here we go. And the mindset going in, I'll just, routine, do it.
And I think you had the legit question yesterday. If you shoot 8 of them, are the first 3 the hardest or the back 3 the hardest? And I would have thought the first 3 are the hardest. Once you get those in and you're the girl who keeps going back to the line, that's got to make it a lot easier than somebody cold going in and trying to get that rhythm down.
Thunder Ridge High School, another one of those small schools that Alan Clark has been able to recruit players from, and they're going to be going to Lubbock. So we'll talk to Cole about that coming up on the show today. Jeff Kuckelman, this was cool when you talked to him after the game. Tell me the Facebook post of all these Maxville kids, the seniors, on Facebook when they were getting ready to go to basketball. They had medals around their neck, right? That they'd won in like 3rd grade.
Yeah, so this group of seniors has been playing together since 2nd or 3rd grade, so about 10 years. Takes them down to a maybe tournament as a Maxville team, which of course maybe is a travel. So you're going to have a lot of handpicked teams, and this was a Maxville team, so they won a medal. And he said, when he put the medals around their neck, this won't be the last time.
Promise kept.
10 years later.
He's doing pretty good. That was his 10th team that Jeff Kuckelman's taken to the state tournament. You think, well, okay, he's won 3 of them, right? If you hit 300 for your career in the Major League, you're Hall of Famer. So, yeah, the Maxville fellas are going to be in here. Okay, I don't know if it even matters right now. Dallin Cuff, ESPN. What is the toughest regional? He says it's the West Regional. He laid out a pretty good plan. I'm glad KU's going there. They get distracted when they have to play at home in Kansas City.
And bottom line, I think KU is capable of beating anyone, but they're also capable of losing any of those competitive games.
That's about how you can describe the entire field, isn't it?
But and probably so, but being that we have seen so many comebacks and we cover them here, it's common knowledge that we've seen KU play awesome at Texas, and we've seen them get beat up by teams they should have beat.
Are we having a sports day bracket?
I set up an ESPN one. I think I will set up a sports day one so people can join us, and I will put the link and information.
Well,
on Great Bend
do you want to do
Post.
it, everybody here in this? Because the guy that used to run it around here, he retired, so.
I did. I don't know how to do that with the paper. What's nice about the ESPN one is it grades it.
Well, you
and
can do
everything.
that. What, can you set up an ESPN one here for the radio station people?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
See,
so
the thing I didn't like to participate in that one because it was one of those that you got to enter like 2 entries.
I think you
or
can do
3.
6.
We got to limit
You
it to
have
just
one
one.
bracket.
We will pick you pick one,
One bracket.
and we will take your lowest score. So
And remember, you missed out on. Remember, no one cares about your bracket.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
but so the kicker with some people don't know how to score it. They'll give a point for every win throughout the tournament. What I like about ESPN's bracket is it's 320 points per round. So every game in the first round is 10 points, but it's magnified to 320 points if you pick the correct winner.
All right, well, we'll get that done. And the NCAA tournament. Oh, Grady Dick talking about playing without Bill Self on the sideline. So what they do, they went 2-1 without Bill on the sideline for KU, but Bill Self's supposed to be back. And Jerome Tang, the Kansas State Wild. By the way, KU plays coming up on Thursday at 1 o'clock during the show. So we'll get live look-ins on the KU Howard game from Des Moines. Jerome Tang talking about playing Montana State in the first round of the East Regional. I love K-State's setup, as they're going to take on Montana State, a 3 against a 14. I mean, we've seen those. Winning that first one's always tough because everybody's had a chance to break it down once you get into the game. I guess, so it would be hard to win game 1, and then it'd be hard to win game 3, right, according to Jerome Tangs, because, again, you're going to have more time to prepare for that team. Anyway, that's what he was saying. And then Desi Sills, after they fell in the quarterfinals of the Big 12 tournament, they've got their swagger back. So good practice yesterday at Bramlage, and then they met with the media. So K-State's getting ready, and that's going to be an 8:40 start on Thursday, or on Friday, I should say, in Greensboro.
And then the other thing on the ESPN one, poking around on the bracket challenge,
He always wants to get back on.
you'll get a capsule for each team, but then there's several analyst groups, and it has their percentage of wins. K-State's was actually one of the higher first-round picks by those 4 independent groups. So that's very promising because
So you're not filling yours out. You're just looking at what other guys are filling out.
I will baseline their knowledge with my own knowledge and
Just
gut
making the most
feeling.
informed decision that you can.
Yeah, they give you the tools, and then you've got to fill it in with, like UCLA. I'm going to throw a spoiler out there. They lost their main point guard, but my guy Tiger Campbell's still going. So I heard that in the comment that UCLA is still a solid pick. But handy information to have that I didn't want to dig around for.
And you just let everybody know where to go get
I
it. Now, so
know.
that everybody listening down the hallways right now.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
other,
we'll get a thing together. But ever get that person that's doing really good, and that's, oh boy, you see my no. I guess maybe I'm saying that because I usually don't have success in these.
I was
so
going
don't
to
wanna
say,
hear-
my bracket's usually pretty busted by the time we get to the second round.
Yeah, but
They don't even give it a cool name yet. Like,
But wherever you go on Friday morning, I guarantee you, boy, I tell you what, my bracket went to. No one cares. Unless mine's doing good. Okay, there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours or so. All right, Mr. NFL Insider. Chiefs have found a replacement for Orlando Brown. And he comes from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jawan Taylor. 25 years old, started all 66 games he's played since entering the league as a second-round pick of Jacksonville in the 2019 draft. He primarily held down the right side of the line in Jacksonville. The Chiefs want him to move over to the left. Okay, Mr. Offensive Lineman. What are the challenges of doing that, going from right tackle to left tackle?
And I saw that same report that they're wanting him to switch from right to left, and it's kind of interesting because he hasn't played a whole lot of left tackle, even dating back to college. And it's interesting because a lot of times NFL defenses like to put their best edge rusher on the left side because the quarterback, if he's right-handed, he's going to be facing the opposite way, gets back to that blind side. So planning to move him over to the left, it's a tall order for a guy we haven't seen. Don't get me wrong, he's been a very good pass protector on the right side, but it's completely flipped on the left, and some guys can do it. But it's a tall order to ask a guy to come in and try to protect Patrick Mahomes, especially because the style of play that Mahomes invites, you kind of have to extend your block sometimes. He's extending plays. You want to be able to keep defenders off of him. And when he's extending, you have to be able to do that. So I'm excited to see how Jawan Taylor can react after he's really only been a right tackle in Jacksonville. But he has been incredibly reliable. Like you said, he's played every game since he's been drafted. They gave him a lot of money. They gave him $80 million with, I think, 42.5 guaranteed, which is a lot of money. But if he stands up and can be a good left tackle over the next 4 years, it's actually a pretty good deal. But like I said, moving from right to left, that's going to be tough.
You think it's right-handed, left-handed. Now, okay, back in my day, so all of a sudden after we got a coach at Tabor that wanted to throw the ball instead of run the veer, then all of a sudden I was playing defensive end.
You move from quarterback to DN.
After Fat Rod Wallace came in, threw for like 400 yards. So I couldn't play the right end because I like to use my right arm, one for your forearm, the other one to rip. Lord,
oh, yeah.
It was unnatural for me to do it with my left hand. So yeah, I mean, I had to be over on the left defensive end.
And
but I don't know if it does it work the same when you're dropping back with your left foot or you're dropping back with your right foot.
I'll say I noticed it, especially after I tore up my knee senior year, a lot harder to try to switch over and play on that right side just because stopping myself in a pass set, trying to catch all of my weight on that right leg in those sets where we moved me to the right side, it got hard. So it's definitely different mechanics. And obviously at the NFL, they play at a very high level.
But why would it be more? It seems more natural to me, which is weird because I'm right-handed, to drop my left. It seems more odd to me to drop.
We might have to go back and look through some of your sports history to find what leads you to.
I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. Mike Trout hit a 3-run homer. I got to throw that in. Fantasy baseball season's coming up. U.S. used a 9-run first. They cruised past Canada 12-1 at the World Baseball Classic. And Dick Fosbury, the Fosbury flop, has died at the age of 76, changed the entire. I mean, there was probably a guy that remember when they started spinning to throw the shot put?
And so the other guys are, hey, you can't do that. And then they saw how far he went, like, maybe we should try that.
But you still see some regular shot putters that do it the old way, but hardly ever. I don't see anybody do that. I don't know what it's called, the bear roll or whatever. It was used to be the way you jumped off your left foot and you come up and try to roll your body around the bar.
And I don't know what the people were jumping before Fosbury, but I have seen high school kids go 7-2. So when you're out on the track that has no perspective, look at your door jam. That's 6'8", 7
Or the top
footish.
of Aaron's head.
And that is a high school kid putting his whole body over that. And then, of course, you get to the world levels, they're going 7'6", 7'8". It is crazy when you look at your door and think somebody jumping that.
Yeah, for someone to completely change a sport like that, he was probably out screwing around. So I don't know if I'll try it this way.
And then how many people hit their heads trying it out for the first time? Before there were coaches saying, here's where you need to take off. Because you'll see it. Some people get really close even with good coaching these days.
And back when he started that, we didn't have these fancy high jump pits they have now. We had like these netting full of these big foam rubber chunks. Those were our pits. We didn't have these fancy ones that, you fall down in and it's just like falling in a box of Kleenex.
Sounds like the pits.
Well,
Yeah, you tried going over the top, but that's probably the reason why no one did the Fosbury Flop, because they used to have mattresses out there.
Oh, and something I was kind of thinking about with how old is the high jump? You know, like the history in the Olympics jumping, and a guy within our, well, I guess not within my lifetime, but within the past 100 years has completely revolutionized a sport that is so old. It's crazy to think that that's that new of a development.
Did they have the high jump at Athens?
I don't know when it was added, but it seems like one that wouldn't be very hard to get. You know, it's like, hey, you want to see how far this guy can run 100 yards? Yeah, you want to see how high this guy can jump?
I was reading about that. They would jump into a pit of grapes, and that's where the
And that's how they started
bottle
making
of
wine
was
too.
made.
Yeah.
Very historical.
I don't know. That's not very nice because those guys competed naked, didn't they?
Well, that gives it that extra bit of flavor.
There you go on Sports Day. All right, Cole Rife coming up. We're going to talk Barton Lady Cougar basketball here when we come back on Sports Day.
Attention Kansas high schoolers. Barton Community College wants to help you get ahead in your education and save money with new early college online savings. Starting March 20th, pay only $75 per credit hour on any Barton online course. That's a savings of up to $80. All online classes are eligible, including career technical and general education. Learn more at bartoncc.edu/earlycollege.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Well, I see your neighbor got a new roof. You probably need to call Summit Roofing for a free quote. They specialize in the customer experience. That means that they talk to you about every job before they get started. Summit Roofing offers quality craftsmanship, and they have the answer for the roof on your home or business. Founded, owned, and operated in Great Bend. Wind damage, hail damage, roof inspections, they do it all. And no job is too large or small. Just ask your neighbor. Summit Roofing.
That celebration was going to go because Barton was just kind of hanging out in the gym. It was awkward, and that celebration continued and continued and continued. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone wants that during the Region 6 before the men's game. So,
Okay. All right. I was just wondering. I think because, yeah, you couldn't go down and cut one net down, and then the other, that'd be awkward for the team that would be shooting at that goal in the first half not to have a net. You know?
yeah, they thought this through. They thought this through in Region 6. There's a lot of smart guys involved. So
Okay, going to the national tournament. That's pretty exciting.
how about that, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a minute. So 15 years since the last one, 2008. And man, it was hard not to. You know me, like I'm not a very emotional guy. Like I just don't. Like whether it's with family or it's friends, it's whatever. I'm not very emotional, but like it was hard not to be a little emotional seeing that celebration Saturday, night after what they had gone through the first 3 years. 2020, kind of surprised to be there after upsetting Hutch in the semifinals of the buzzer beater. Then 2021, you had the big three with Tiffany Dortland, Queen Ulabo, Vanessa Odoa that you felt really good about but lost to Independence. And then last year, you're playing really good ball but lost to a talented Hutchinson team. So to get there 3 straight years and come up empty was getting old. It was getting old, plain and simple. So to finally push through and to get that win in the way that they did it this year was really cool to see. And I think Coach Clark talked about it yesterday on the show. Like Kirchhoff gave him just like a big bear hug, afterwards, and a lot of players did. Man, that was fun to see. That felt good.
And yeah, and Alan said, well, I wasn't thinking about it. Well, he probably wasn't during the game, but man, you don't want to be that team that, okay, you don't want to be like the Buffalo.
Eight and 3, obviously the record speaks for itself. They got a lot of talented players that have put up some nice numbers. The one thing I've noticed, you look at their team numbers, they've been beating opponents by an average of 30 points a game. And you usually be like, man, that's a dominant team. I don't know. You look at their schedule, and I don't think the Missouri Valley, the Missouri Conference was as good this year. Three Rivers was solid. They got one of the at-large bids. They're in there. But outside of Moberly and Three Rivers, Mineral Area was okay this year. They went 22-11. Team Barton beat by 25 or 30 points on a non-conference game in early November in Hutchinson. I don't think Moberly's schedule was as good. I think Barton has probably tested a little bit more in the Jayhawk Conference. So that gives me hope. And also that team, that Mineral Area that Barton beat in November by 25 or 30, they beat Moberly once. Now, they played each other 4 times. Moberly won 3 of those 4, but they did get him once, and the other games were decent, and then they met up in the championship game at Region 16, and Moberly won by 19. So that gives me hope. I mean, they do have the Region 16 Player of the Year, McKenna Eddings. They got a couple girls that can shoot the ball at a really high clip. Another concern, though, for Moberly is they were without 2 of their main players in that championship game this past Saturday. And then I saw a picture, doing my thorough research. I saw a picture of, them celebrating with the net and then the trophy or whatever. And one of those players, averaging 12 a game, had a cast on her left wrist. Usually you have a cast on, that's a long-term type of injury. So she might continue to be out even a week and a half later. And then the other one was in street clothes. So, I mean, who knows what the situation was with that. But those are 2 girls that are averaging 12 points and 13 points a game that weren't playing for them on Saturday. So how healthy they're going to be, that's a question. So I don't know. I feel good. I mean, it's not like, oh, yeah, they're going to guaranteed. I mean, they're going to be a solid team. But and they have experience. This is the 4th straight year that Moberly's been into the national tournaments, and for Barton, obviously the first one in 15 years. So I think it'll be fun, but I think Coach Clark's going to have them ready, and I think they'll have a good shot to get a win.
So next week when we'll get the update on the cotton crop as you're heading in North Texas.
Yeah, I think by the time, if you call me at the same time next week, I'll probably be closer to the Kansas-Oklahoma border. I don't know if I'll be quite into Texas yet, but we'll see.
Okay. Dodge gets in at the at-large. Barton beats Dodge twice. Dodge wins the regular season. Yeah, the men, yeah.
Yep.
But, man, I can see both ways because why do you play a 24 game? It's 24 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 24-game conference season if it's not going to mean anything. But yet, on the other hand, from Barton's side, I say, well, we beat them twice, and they're going to the tournament. We went farther in the tournament than they did, and then they get to go to the national. I can see it both ways, Cole.
Yeah.
I could see both sides of it. You know, Dodge saying that exact same thing. Well, he won the regular season.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you can make a strong case, and we did before the conference tournament, and you can still make a strong case for either way. I talked to Fletch about this, and he always said that winning a regular season conference championship is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
And because winning the Region 6 obviously has the huge prize at the end. It's a tournament. It's March Madness. It's brackets. We get it, the excitement, and it's great. Wouldn't change it for the world.
And it gets in they're playing the best basketball right now.
Yeah, it's awesome. Keep it the same. But to win something that started up in mid-November, 24 games later to the 1st of March, and to say you came out on top of that, you probably should have some weight to it. And we've always said that, we felt like the Jayhawk Conference should be one of those maybe 2 or 3 conferences in the country that does get an automatic bid for a regular season champion. So if the committee came up to me and said, hey, Dodge City won it because they won the regular season, I can live with that. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I can sleep with that. But then obviously, but if you're Barton, you can make that strong case. Not only did you have the better overall record, which doesn't mean everything, but you had a better overall record, and you beat that team head-to-head 2 times, and you beat them like a drum at 3rd place on their final home game of the regular season.
Where they cut down the nets.
And then also you made it a further round in the Region 6 tournament than they did. I mean, they bailed out in the semis. You beat a really good Coffeyville team in the semifinal, a Coffeyville team that was also on the bubble with you. So you beat a quality team in the semis, and obviously were close. They were close with Butler, too, in their semifinal loss. They lost by 3. Barton lost by 4. So they were tight games. So you can make a case, and I think what's sad for me is that, and a lot of teams can make this case, Coffeyville could too, is that you really feel like Barton, if they got to the national tournament, they might win some games. I thought they could compete with anybody. So I was really confident that if they did get there, that they can make a run, in the tournament. So that's what's disappointing. But hey, it's the nature of the beast. This happens every year. I mean, Barton's not always in the conversation of it, but every year there's 4 or 5 teams that are really, really ticked off, or they're really, really upset, and they're on the bubble and they gets burst. So this is a tough one for Barton, especially how well they're playing.
What do you think? I mean,
after that loss,
after the loss, then Sunday's selection.
I didn't really pay attention a whole lot to around the country who won, who lost, but then Sunday afternoon, I was starting to dig into it a little bit. And I'm not saying there's ESPN following JUCO basketball, but there are some media outlets that project and things like that. And I was seeing mostly Dodge that they were projecting to get one of the 8 at-large bids. So at that point, I realized, okay, yeah, this is a possibility. And then the last thing I'll say about it is anytime you put yourself into a close situation where it's going to be close, I knew afterwards, hey, this isn't a shoe-in, but they got a good chance, but it's going to be close. Anytime you put yourself in a tight situation, there's an opportunity that you're going to come up on the wrong side. So next time, put more of control of it, go out, don't have that bad stretch in December, where you lose 4 or 5 games, and, then you put yourself in the driver's seat. So, when you put yourself in a close situation, sometimes you're going to get hurt.
Had a chance to win it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people who remember that game say, oh, yeah, Cougar missed that. But that's so unfair. It just comes down to one play. As good as he's been as a Barton Cougar, hey, guys got to have courage to take the shot to begin with,
Yeah. Like you said, there's nothing to hang your head on that. But, I thought it was more the turnovers before that. Barton had 2 just, where's your head at turnovers in the final 2 minutes. And then there's turnovers and there's really bad turnovers. And one of them was a turnover out near midcourt that was just clearly intercepted and then went the other way for an and one play. And that was when it was a 1-point game and eventually stretched into a 4-point game. So I thought those turnovers were huge. And then even after Cougar missed that three, Ring got an offensive rebound. Then he threw the ball away as well, trying to fit a tight pass inside the lane. So, there are plenty of other things that I felt like, they could have locked it in. So, Downey, he's going to go down as the 6th best all-time scorer in Barton history. He's going to go down as one of the best 3-point shooters in Barton history. So, a 1,000-point score in his 2 years. So he definitely left his mark on Barton, and I'll be excited to see where he goes next year.
Okay, so just remember, if you do last through Saturday, remember, do not venture out in Lubbock, Texas on Saturday night.
No, it can't be that bad.
They paint their faces like cats and everything else. It's that's just what they do in Lubbock on Saturday night. Hopefully get the chance to experience it.
It's been years. Maybe things have changed. Maybe things have changed in Lubbock.
Well, just go to the anyway, because they've got that big armadillo out at the airport. And I didn't think about this, but Divis said this morning, said, well, was it standing up or was it on its back? That's the only time I've ever seen an armadillo before. Anyway, just some morning AM Great Ben Show humor. So, hey, have fun. We'll talk to you next Tuesday, okay?
Will do. Thanks, sir.
Cole Reif here on Sports Day. Maxville Mustangs up next on Sports Day.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
We had a lady that was having some severe back and hip pain, and we worked with her for about 6 to 7 weeks, and we were able to actually restore greater than 80% of her mobility, and we were able to keep her from actually needing that surgery for about 4 years.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Reif, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
B&D Herefords and Angus 37th Annual Production Sale coming Monday, March 20th at 1 p.m. at the ranch, 1 mile east of Odin, Kansas. Selling will be 50 Age Advantage Angus Bulls, 50 Age Advantage Hereford Bulls, 50 Angus and Black Baldy Spring Pairs. Join us for the season opener. Come find your next herd bull. That's B&D Herefords and Angus 37th Annual Production Sale Monday, March 20th at the ranch, 1 mile east of Odin, Kansas. Lunch at noon. For more information, contact Craig Barron at 620-786-9703. Sale will be broadcast on BB Auction.
BTI of Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt has been your source for quality ag parts for the right price. With fall planting upon us, it's time to stock up on your planting parts and supplies so you have them on hand when you need them. BTI offers free parts delivery to their parts drop-off box locations. Check with your local BTI or visit btiequip.com for the nearest drop-off box. BTI, your local John Deere dealer. BTI, our family in partnership with your family.
Hi, this is Travis Thompson with Farmers Bank and Trust. Are you ready to become a homeowner? Make an appointment with one of our mortgage lenders today so we can help you turn your dream into reality. First-time homebuyer grant funds become available on March 6th to qualifying applicants. Come in and visit us today to see if you qualify. Farmers Bank and Trust in Great Bend, Albert, Larned, La Crosse, Kinsley, and Bazine. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back to Sports Day, and a special day it is here on a Tuesday. Steve Webster back with you. Mike Horst running the controls. Aaron Clark, he's our studio manager right now. And we're going to get to meet the Maxville Mustangs, not just the senior co-captains. We've got everybody here today lined up in the hall. We also have head coach Jeff Kockelman with us. Jeff was talking earlier on the show today. You know, you've been to 10 state tournaments. Now you've won 3. And you think, well, okay, 3. That's pretty good. That's Hall of Fame numbers in Major League Baseball. Congratulations on getting another one.
Well, thank you. It's been very fortunate to have a lot of good kids and been very blessed.
We were hoping you'd bring a basketball today. We have a basketball.
Yes,
we get to post that in the
wherever
We'll find a play. Well, see, Aaron Clark has his hand, but that basketball was given to him for a pathetic effort on a half-court shot at a Great Bend Panther game.
Any chance to bring that up you get, just any chance you get. It was so long ago.
And it's autographed by all the members of this year's team. So that is fantastic, and we really appreciate it. That's an offensive lineman making a nice catch right there. Man, you got it done. You went up there and picked up 3 wins, and what a game in the championship game, beat Wichita Classical. But tell me about that semifinal game. That South Grade team, that was a high-scoring affair as well.
Well, we knew it was going to be. Obviously I was concerned after the first night when they hit 7 threes in the first half. We were just hoping to cool them off a little bit, and I thought – and that was one thing going in that I was hoping that I knew our defense was pretty good, so I was hoping we could defend them maybe better than they got defended the first night, and I thought we did that, and it gave us a chance, certainly, which kids took advantage of.
That first half against Wichita Classical, 40-40 at halftime, I kind of thought about, okay, that goes back to the KU National Championship game with Danny and the Miracles. It was 50-50 at halftime, just run and gun up and down the floor, and there you are, 40-40 at halftime. Talk about the first half.
Well, it was certainly a track meet. I hadn't seen them run like that previously in the tournament, and they were flying the wings. And I was screaming at our guys to get back on defense, and they didn't necessarily get a lot of baskets off of that, but it definitely had the tempo going fast. And that's okay with us. We like fast tempo on offense too. We'd like to slow somebody down on defense though a little bit, and then they hit a lot of threes. I mean, they were hot from 3, and but we adjusted at half, I thought, and challenged shots better, which gave us a chance in the second half.
Yeah, because that's when you got your distance in the third quarter. So challenge shots and maybe a couple other things that maybe help you get that distance in the third quarter.
Yeah, we talked about it half. We switched up things, our rotation a little bit to better challenge some of those shots. Thankfully they cooled off a little bit too. And we did a good job of rebounding, and then we maintained an offense. That's what we talked about at halftime was, our offense obviously is fine. We scored 40. We just need to defend a little better, and have a chance to take this thing home.
Okay, Mike Corson sitting over there running the controls. He wrote a great article on Catch It Kansas, and that was the coolest thing. Tell me about this picture that was taken when these guys are like, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade.
Yeah, it was a long, long time ago, obviously, but the biggest thing with it was they took the picture after, they had gotten a medal, and kind of the unique thing for us was here we were we were all Maxville kids, and they were all obviously, 3rd graders at Maxville or whatever, and everybody else we were playing were, these Oz elites and things like this or whatever. And, we were just happy to, kind of bounce back. The first day was a little bit rough. And then we kind of bounced back and actually ended up getting a medal. And, it was obviously the first medal for them. And I put it around their necks that day. And I specifically remember that day telling them, this won't be the last medal I put around your necks. And they all knew what I meant by that. And just for it to finally come to fruition is just unbelievable.
3rd time, and the cool thing about coming from a small town, I mean, I imagine you had a lot of people, that former players and everybody else had reached out to you. Maybe they were at the game. One guy that, Derek Bevan, he brought his own team to the state tournament here in Great Bend, but it's a big fraternity with Maxville Mustang athletics, and coming from a small high school, it's awesome.
It really is. It really is. I told Coach a little bit after the game, my phone just blew up. I had texts, and I had more texts practically than I could answer, and a ton from former players, and it was just great. And I said, this is what it's all about. This is the reason you do it. To hear that from former players, and know how much they appreciate being a part of the program, and they always will be.
Ready to meet your guys here? Sure. Yeah, okay. All right, the first one here, we do starting lineups. I don't know what you guys do on the front. I think we have Mr. Ryan Kuckelman here. So what do you want to say about this player, Coach?
Well, what can I say? I don't know. It's been a pretty special ride, certainly. been a pretty special player for our team and for me, obviously. And, he just does a lot for us, career leading rebounder in the school and just does everything we ask of him. And, it's sure, I said I don't get emotional very often or whatever, but it's been pretty emotional the last few days.
Ryan, come on over here. Okay. When did you know that you guys were going to get it? I mean, you guys hit your free throws down the stretch. But how much time was left when you thought, okay, we're going to get this thing done?
I didn't want to be too confident too early or anything, but I'd say around the 2-minute mark, we kind of controlled the pace, and we were really patient on offense, and defensively, we kind of started to shut them down at that point, and we were hitting our free throws, and that's when I started to gain our confidence.
Were you happier for yourself? You were happier for your dad?
Is it selfish if I say myself?
Yeah, he's already got 2 of them, but that's got to be a family thing. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He's pretty much coached me my whole career, so it was cool to end with a championship.
How special was it to do with a lot of guys that you grew up with?
It meant everything. We've been playing since 3rd grade, and we all pretty much stick together since 3rd grade, so it was pretty cool to end it together.
Okay, all right. And what do we have here, Mr. Lance Lickus?
Brought in a shirt signed by everybody and giving it to you guys.
Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. And what can you say about Mr. Lickus, Coach?
What can I say about him?
How come you didn't let him shoot more during the year, man?
They shoot about as much as they want to or whatever. I mean, Lance just does everything for us. I've always said, if there's one guy that deserves more recognition on our team that doesn't get it, it's Lance. And boy, he was really determined. Especially in the semifinals and finals, what great games he had, and it was very, very evident. Not only in his play, but on his face and everything about how he did everything. He was determined to get a championship, and he made sure we did.
All right. Okay. This is your 4th time on Sports Day. You know that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, how'd it feel? Not being on Sports Day. It's old hat for you, okay?
Yeah, it was just amazing. Still unreal. Like right now, it still feels like another day. It hasn't set in yet, but it's truly amazing.
Okay. Again, ask a lot of you guys, the seniors, how's it feel to this group, man? You guys were, Maxville grade school, playing basketball together and to win a state championship.
We've been together since 3rd grade, and it's just been a tight group of boys that we've been playing with, and it's just to see our success through the years and finally get a state championship really makes it all come true.
All right, very good. Okay.
One more for Lance here. He's got the ball to close out the game. Did you know you were going to chuck it into the air? Who watches for that?
I looked over at Ryan. He's like, throw that thing up in the air. And I was like, all right. And I just threw as high as I could.
I was just thinking of the TMP Abilene game. They called it technical before the officials left the court. I was just wondering about that. Yeah, nice.
That's why I said, where did that ball go? Because everybody's watching the celebration. I'm like, that ball is somewhere up there.
Wait, is it not this one?
No.
All right. Coach, come on over here. And who we got here?
Gustavo Portillo, senior, played a lot off the bench for us.
Gustavo, how did it feel to get that state championship?
I felt great. It was something we've always been working for the whole entire year.
Who was best? I mean, like in 2nd and 3rd grade, were you like?
I wasn't a part of that.
Oh, okay, all right. So, okay, but still a senior. So, how was that whole experience? The trip home. What did they have a special thing for you when you rolled into town?
They had a little parade when we pulled in. It was 11 o'clock, so everybody was ready to go to bed and all. But it was great to see the community come together and just celebrate our state victory.
Gustavo, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, all right. And we have
Alexis Brones.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're a 3rd-timer here on the show, I believe. But anyway, congratulations. Thank you. When did you think that, okay, we've got this thing nailed down?
Leading on to that 4th quarter, I mean, they had, of course, foul, and us hitting those free throws, I've settled in and hit my free throws, and same with my teammates who had free throws to shoot. We hit them, and that's when I felt most comfortable.
that first half of that championship game, man, that had to be like feeling that you're at recess, right? I mean, just running up and down, everybody shooting free and easy. Talk about that first half. That was crazy.
Yeah, pretty good. Of course, Lance hit those first 8 points in those 2 first minutes or whatever, and that's what settled us in for sure and made us prepared for the rest of the game.
Mr. Double over there, man. That was pretty neat. He got off to a good start, and it seemed like your team shot really well. Did you like the environment in there, and maybe playing there a year ago? Did that help a little bit?
Oh yeah, for sure. After playing from last year, we felt comfortable playing in there, and of course the community being there and supporting us helped us a lot as well.
Okay, congratulations. All right, next one up here, Coach.
Virgilio Ibarra, senior, had a great tournament.
Yeah, he sure did. And I'm glad that that's the reason I wanted to introduce these guys, Regilio, okay? It's not Regilio or how many different names they call you at the state tournament?
I don't really know. I don't really pay attention to that.
Talk about your state championship game. Did you feelings going into that? Did you feel like really confident and loose that you're going to shoot the ball well?
I was a bit nervous going in. I mean, thought I was going to play a lot better, but they wouldn't. They're guarding me pretty close and wouldn't leave me, so I had to trust my teammates and pass them the ball more.
Well, it had to feel good to get that state championship, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next. Here we go. What do we got here?
Alvaro Ibarra, senior, came off the bench for us, gave us a lot of quality minutes.
Okay, are you part of the 6 seniors that were the youngsters?
Yeah. Been playing with those guys since 3rd grade. I remember the first MRB tournament in Wichita. I think we took 3rd place, but yeah.
Were the roles the same back in 3rd grade as they were when you were a senior here playing these games, or did they change? Besides, probably Ryan probably grew a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say they're pretty similar. I mean, all I really remember is coaching, always feeding the post, preaching to feed the post, and I mean that's still what we did today. So,
what was Coach's halftime talk like?
I mean, he said, well, before the game, he said if we score 70, he'd guarantee us a state tournament win, and that's what we did. And at halftime, we were just all pretty nervous still, because it was a close game and it was fast paced, and then we still pulled it out.
So no one came in there and said, "Well, Coach, man, we got 40 right now and we're tied, man." Is he sticking to it?
Yeah. I mean, he said it, and that's what we did, and we were lucky to have the win. So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, who we got coming up next, Coach?
Aiden Katz, junior.
Okay. So you get to come back next year and defend, right?
Yeah, I do.
Talk about what your role on this team was and how fun it was to go to the state tournament and bring home state trophy.
Well, my role was a cheerleader. I cheered these guys on when they were doing all the good stuff, winning a state championship, and it was pretty fun. It was a cool ride. It certainly felt amazing to be able to be a part of this team.
Yeah, but you were there for every practice and all that, and trying to make those guys better too.
Yep, I was saying I was trying to make them better, and well, I don't know how much I did, but it sure seemed to work.
Hey, appreciate it. Why don't you go stand over there by Mike Course, and you can run the controls here in just a little bit. All right, what do we got now?
Grippin. Kendall Grippin.
Kendall Grippin, sophomore. You learn anything from these seniors?
Yeah.
A lot. How to win?
Definitely.
Okay. How was last weekend? Oh, it's birthday boy? Okay, all right. We'll belt one out here in just a minute. Okay. I mean, the biggest thing you learned from this group, I mean, is that something, you've got 2 more years to go. Is that something you want to carry on as far as the leadership and things like that?
Definitely.
Okay, what are you going to bring to the table here next year? What's the message to your teammates going to be?
A bunch of wins.
I like that. All right. Keep them coming. Coach, what do you got?
Diego Esparza, sophomore, starting guard.
I like that. You got Diego Esparza, starting guard. Congratulations. You were the youngster on with these guys. How do you feel going in the state championship game?
It's just always fun to play at the state tournament. I mean, with all the big crowd and all of the fans supporting.
Were you nervous?
Well, I was there last year, so I wasn't as nervous as last year.
Okay. Are you more nervous talking to me right now than you were for the start of the game?
Probably.
Well, okay. Hey, congratulations. Keep them coming, man. We got
Hector Gomez, sophomore, comes off the bench, plays for us.
Hector Gomez, congratulations. How excited were you?
It was an exciting game, and to play in front of a big crowd, it was just really exciting, and I got to play there last year, so I don't know, it's just an enjoyable moment.
Okay, so you start the game and you're watching it, and so that's got to be harder than just starting because you don't know when you're going to go in, you know? So you remember going in for the first time? What was the feeling like going out there for the first appearance in that state championship game?
I feel like it's easier than starting because the game's already started. You see what the pace is, and I don't know, it just feels easier coming off the bench and already knowing like what's all going on and what you need to do to contribute to the game.
Yeah, and you had to, at least one thing, you knew that the pace was going to be like, that's probably like watching the Indy 500, man, going out there. It was pretty fast pace, so you got to go right in there and get moving right away.
Yeah, it was pretty fast paced at the beginning. Yeah.
What was the locker room like when you guys got back after all the excitement out on the court? What did the fans not get to see?
A lot of water splashing everywhere, some dancing, and TikTok making.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks. All right.
Orion Guevara, sophomore, came off the bench for us.
I've noticed this sophomore thing here. They're coming. Oh yeah, that's good. Congratulations. How was Saturday?
It was fun. It was a fun experience, and I learned a lot.
What are some things that you were able to take from this weekend that you look forward to applying here the next couple of years?
What it's going to take to make a run at it next year.
Do you like being a regular coming up here with Maxville on the show all the time? So we'll see you up here?
Hopefully.
Okay, all right. Keep them coming. All right.
James Granger, sophomore, JV.
James Granger. What were you able to take away from this as far as looking forward to your next 2 years, James?
Just glad that I had these people to help me get better for the upcoming seasons.
What was it like going against 6'6" all the time in practice?
It was tough. I'm just glad to be able to play with them.
Okay, another sophomore coming in here. Okay, keep them coming here. What do you got, Coach?
Austin Neighbors, sophomore, played JV.
Austin Neighbors, you're part of a championship team. How's that feel?
Feels pretty good. Pretty good team as well.
Glad about these sophomores. How was your JV team this year?
It was good. We just needed to step up our game a little bit this year. There's times where we were off a little bit when we weren't focused.
Well, you'll be focused now. Hey, thanks for coming in today. Congratulations on being part of the state championship team. Are they lined up to the street? Man, I like this.
Kevin Holguin, sophomore, JV.
Kevin, another sophomore here. Do you have any juniors? I guess we do. Got to. Okay. Kevin, what was it like, man, to when you started this season? You got these seniors, and of course you're part of this team now. What was the feeling like around the team? I mean, was that your goal coming out? Some people just wanted, okay, maybe we can get to, the championship game of sub-state. What was the goal for this team?
I mean, our starting sophomore class was talking about going back-to-back in state and winning it all. So it makes me happy to see them win it all and have proven their word. So, yeah.
Do any of the seniors have numbers you want to wear next year?
No, I think I'm going to stay with my number.
Okay. All right. Congratulations. All right.
Ty Clausen, freshman.
Ty Clausen, freshman. So, you got to keep this tradition going, don't you?
Yep.
Okay, you ready to do that?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Okay. Ty, congratulations. I hope to see you back up here in the studio with another state championship.
Carlos Ibarra, freshman.
Carlos Ibarra, freshman. Have any relation on the team?
Yeah.
Okay. You can point him out.
Number 3. He's
Yeah, okay. How fun was it just to be part of this experience?
It was really fun. It was a good experience. I was just here to make them better from the start.
And you were out there practicing against them every day. Who made you better this year as far as upperclassmen?
Just all of them, really. Practice.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yair Triana, freshman.
Yaira Triana, just a freshman. Okay, again, What was it like coming in, your first practice with these guys? I mean, you're the new kid on the block, man. Getting to practice with the high schoolers. Did they make it easy for you?
Not really.
But they were welcoming, though, right?
Yeah.
So, looking ahead, what are you going to work on here in the off season after seeing these guys go win a state championship? What do you want to add to your game?
Just getting better, I guess.
I would expect to see you dunking next year, all right, man? And last but not least,
Dan Grizel, my assistant, the Brain Trust.
How long have you guys been together?
Well, honestly, we've been together since Coach Kuckelman came to Maxville in 2002, 2003. I was the head football coach there, and he was my eye in the sky for 10 years, and I took stats for him for the time I was, from there till when I became the assistant coach, I was his statistician. So, and then took the assistant coach position about 8 or 9 years ago, and so honestly, since 2002, we've been together.
What's special about this group?
Just a great group of guys. They work really, really hard. They're good learners. They're smart kids. They're just a great group of kids to be around.
Well, congratulations being part of this, Coach. Thanks for chaperoning the boys coming up here. Coach, we've got a roll here, but thanks for bringing everybody up. And you set a tradition here. We have a signed autograph basketball for Sports Day to go along with 3 state bowling pins. Okay, so you can come back up, add another basketball. We need to get a ball rack in here, I think. But do you guys do anything like before the game starts? I mean, is there like a chant that you guys do, or? Well, I don't know if that'd be good here on the show today. I don't really have one right now, but okay, whose birthday is it? Okay, birthdays. Belt it out, boys. Come on, one verse. Happy birthday to you. Pick up pace. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kendall. Happy birthday to you. That's Sports Day. We'll be back with more after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
Aaron Clark, good job. I didn't get any time cues, but that was okay. That's pretty strong. Having everybody in here on the show. Okay, I'm going to be gone tomorrow, so has Corson got like a llama trainer or something coming in here tomorrow, or what do we got?
I think he's going to spend about 45 minutes talking about track, and then I'm going to spend 45 minutes talking about backup offensive linemen in the NFL. So.
What about that new backup trainer they got for the Lions, though?
Yeah, old Grady Quinn.
I heard he's strong, though, man. This is with his 3rd straight team, so great job, Mike Corson. Talk to you tomorrow.
Attention.
This is Agriculture Today, and I'm Samantha Bennett with the K-State Radio Network. We spend majority of today's show hearing from K-State expert and Ukraine native Antonina Broyaka. During our first segment of this Tuesday's programming, she reflects on the one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Her journey